flights are $1,200 each, my mom said, not even looking up from her phone. If you can't afford it, just stay behind. The words didn't sting until the next morning. That's when I saw the charges on my credit card. 3 tickets. Business class. Honolulu. My stomach twisted. My hands turned cold. I stared at the screen, blinking hard, hoping I was wrong. But there it was, my name, my card, their trip. They hadn't just left me out. They'd used me to pay for it. And not one of them had said a word. My name's Abigail. I'm 28. A registered nurse at St. Mercy's Hospital. You'd think that means something. That people would treat you with a little respect when you're the one holding hands with strangers as they die, or pulling double shifts so someone's grandma isn't alone at 3 a.m. But to my family, I was just the responsible one. The steady one. The one they could lean on, and lean on hard. I lived alone in a small 2-bedroom apartment on the east side. Nothing fancy but clean. Always clean. A fern by the window, thrifted books stacked neatly by the couch, and a fridge full of meal-prepped containers because that's how nurses survive. Most mornings started the same. I'd pour coffee into a chipped mug, rub my temples, and check my bank account with a little hope and a lot of dread. Rent, loan payment, phone bill, grocery delivery, and now Honolulu. $3,673.82. I pressed the mug to my lips, but my stomach turned. I set it down. A knock came at the door. My neighbor, Mrs. Patel, waving through the peephole with a plate of still warm paratha and a big smile. You didn't eat dinner yesterday, she said. I was working. I lied. You look tired. I am. You work too much. I smiled faintly. You say that every time. She patted my arm gently. And every time it's true. I took the plate. Her kindness sat heavy in my chest, a softness I rarely found inside my own home. At work, the world felt different. Busy. Purposeful. Abby, can you grab room 12's vitals? Abby, code brown in 18. Abby, the family in 24 is asking for you again. They don't trust anyone else. I didn't mind. I was good at what I did. I remembered faces, pain scales, quiet cries in the hallway. I knew when to speak, and when to just sit beside someone. No words needed. My coworkers teased me, called me the calm in the chaos. But beneath that calm, I carried a tiredness that sleep couldn't fix. And family made it worse. That evening, I called my mom. I saw the charges, I said softly. She didn't even pause. What charges? For the trip. The tickets. You used my card. A silence. Then, well, we didn't think it would go through. But you never said not to. I blinked. It's my credit card. You're always so uptight, Abigail. It's just a vacation. A vacation I wasn't invited to. A vacation I paid for. I swallowed. You could have asked. Her voice grew sharper. You act like we're strangers. We're family. We raised you. You can't spare a little help? My jaw clenched. I've been helping for 10 years. And we appreciate it. There was a click. She ended the call. That night, I stood in my tiny bathroom, brushing my teeth, staring into the mirror. The fluorescent light buzzed overhead. I saw the faint lines under my eyes. The cracked skin near my knuckles from constant washing. The nurse's badge hanging by the door. I worked every holiday. Skipped birthdays. Canceled dates. And still they used me. Like a bank account that didn't speak. But I wasn't silent anymore. I walked into my room, opened my laptop, and opened a spreadsheet. One column, date. Next, amount. Then description. It was time to do the math. The first time I paid for something small, I was 19. Just a little help with the grocery bill. My mom had said, her voice sweet and casual. Back then, I was in nursing school, living on instant noodles and caffeine, but I transferred $100 without blinking. I thought it was love. I thought helping meant being good. That's what daughters do, right? But that little help became a habit. Car repairs for Dad. Books for my sister's kids. Dentist bills. A laptop. An overdue phone plan. All from me. Quietly. Automatically. They never asked how I was doing. When I graduated, they threw a party. Nothing extravagant. Just a cake and some balloons. My mom stood up in front of everyone and said, "We're so proud of our Abigail. She's always been the strong one, the one who doesn't ask for much." Everyone clapped. I smiled, but I felt hollow, because I did want something. I wanted someone to ask how I was. To say, "You've done enough. Sit down, rest. We've got it now." Things only got worse when my sister got divorced. Elise and her husband Darren had 2 kids, twins. Cute as anything, but loud and needy. He walked out one evening, left a note on the table. That was it. She moved back in with our parents. And suddenly, my paycheck was feeding 5 people instead of 1. "I'll pay you back," she said once, when I gave her $600 for school clothes. "You don't have to," I said automatically. But I wanted her to. Not for the money, for the principle, for the respect, for the acknowledgement that I wasn't just an endless source. Last Christmas, I skipped the family party. First time ever. I was tired. Bone deep tired. I had worked 4 straight night shifts, and my back was screaming. I texted Mom and said I'd see them the next weekend. She replied, "Of course. We understand. But the kids will be disappointed. No, get some rest. No, take care of yourself." Just guilt neatly wrapped like a gift. Then came the Hawaii trip. It started with a casual group chat message from my brother, Ethan. "Thinking of doing a big family trip in August. Somewhere warm. We deserve it, LOL." No one mentioned me directly. I replied with a thumbs up emoji. I assumed they were just dreaming. A week later, Elise posted a picture in the group. A beach. Palm trees. A fancy-looking resort. "Elise, this one has a kids club and a spa." Eyes, then Ethan again. "Flights are $1,200 each. If you can't afford it, no big deal. Just say so. No big deal. Just say so." I stared at that message for a long time. I didn't reply. A month later, the charge hit my account. $3,673.82, 2 business class flights, 1 economy, and a child ticket. Booked under my name. On my card. They didn't even try to hide it. That night, I sat in my scrubs on the floor of my apartment, still wearing my hospital ID, phone in one hand, wine glass in the other, rereading the bank alert. I felt a strange detachment. Like the betrayal didn't fit in my hands. Too big. Too surreal. How did they even get my card info? Then I remembered. Elise had borrowed it, just to order diapers. I never got it back. The next day, I confronted my mom. You already know how that went. But here's what I didn't expect. The second betrayal. After I froze the card, I got a call from Darren, Elise's ex. "Hey. I didn't know who else to talk to," he said, his voice low. "I got a weird call from your mom." "Okay." She asked if I'd consider giving her a loan. Said the family was in a tight spot, and they didn't want to worry you. My mouth went dry. "They called you? After everything?" He hesitated. "They told me you were going through something. Mentally. That you'd been unstable lately." I blinked. "What?" "They said you might try to ruin the family vacation out of spite." I couldn't breathe for a second. "They said I shouldn't believe everything you say." That was the moment something in me broke. Not loudly. Not with a scream. It was quieter than that. Like a string snapping inside. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't unstable. I wasn't a villain. But they needed me to be, so they didn't have to feel guilty. So they could keep taking. So they could still be the victims. That night, I opened my spreadsheet again. Line after line. Year after year. I counted every cent. Every transfer. Every gift I bought. Every emergency I covered. It added up to $38,512.91. Not including the emotional damage. They went to Hawaii. Even after I froze the card. Even after I sent a group message saying I knew what they did. No one apologized. Instead, my mom replied, "We were counting on you. You've changed, Abigail. And then, we'll pay you back eventually. Don't ruin this for everyone." I didn't reply. What was there to say? The next day, Elise posted a photo. White sand ocean behind her. Caption, "Finally peace. Family means everything, 2 hearts." I stared at that sentence. Family means everything. Funny, I used to believe that too. I didn't work the week they were gone. I'd taken time off, thinking I'd be on vacation myself. Instead, I sat in my apartment silent. I made tea. Didn't drink it. I opened the fridge. Closed it again. I tried to sleep. Couldn't. On the third night, I went for a walk. My legs took me toward my old neighborhood, the one we grew up in. I didn't mean to stop by Darren's place, but the porch light was on, and I saw him sitting outside drinking a beer. He looked up. Abigail. I wasn't going to come in, I said. I just ended up here. He stood, hesitated, then opened the gate. Want one? He asked, holding up the bottle. We sat there for a while. Quiet. Then he said, You know, Elise always hated that you were the favorite. I laughed once, bitter. That's the first I've heard of that. She thought your parents only liked her because she gave them grandkids, he said. But you were the responsible one. The one they respected. My mouth tightened. Is that what respect looks like? He didn't answer. Then he said, You know they lent me money once? I blinked. They what? Yeah. Before the divorce. Your dad gave me 10 grand. Said it was for a business opportunity. He made air quotes. I leaned forward. Did you ask for it? No. He offered it. Said I'd pay him back with interest. It was weird. What business was it? He hesitated. Gambling mostly. I stared at him. It was dumb, he admitted. Online poker. I lost it all in 6 weeks. And they knew. Yeah. They weren't happy, but they didn't tell Elise. They didn't want her to be upset. I went cold. They protected you. I said, the words like lead in my throat. He looked at me. They've protected a lot of people, Abigail. Just not you. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat at my kitchen table, opened my laptop, and pulled up my transaction history. Every name, every date, every receipt. Then I started writing. Not a rant. Not a sob story. Just a statement. A bill. I made a PDF. Titled it, Reimbursement Request, Abigail Grant. Attached an itemized list. Total, $38,512.91 plus a note. This is the amount I've paid over the years for your needs, unasked, unreturned. I am no longer available for unpaid emotional labor, guilt, or financial support. Please do not contact me unless it is to arrange repayment. I wish you peace. I printed a hard copy, placed it in an envelope. Then I did something I never thought I would. I blocked them. All of them. They came back from Hawaii the next week. Tan laughing loud. My doorbell rang on Sunday. I didn't answer. Later, I got a knock at work. A delivery, envelope in hand. No return address. Inside was a handwritten letter. From my mom. I don't know what's happened to you. This isn't the Abigail we raised. Families don't keep receipts. They forgive. They support. They understand. You've always been strong, but now you're acting cold. That breaks my heart. It ended with, We'll talk at dinner Sunday. I know you'll come around. I folded the letter. Put it in a drawer. Never replied. 1 week later, a lawyer called me. Apparently, Darren had gotten into legal trouble. Debt. Gambling again. But this time, he listed my father as a co-signer on a private loan. Without asking. Without telling me. When my dad had agreed. The fallout was fast and loud. Elise was furious. My parents were humiliated. And suddenly, for the first time, I wasn't the villain. I was the only one who had receipts. The only one who didn't lie. The only one who saw clearly. They thought I was cold. Good. Cold is clean. Cold means no more burning. The dinner I never confirmed. They held it anyway. A Sunday evening, same as always. Roast chicken, candles, matching plates. I didn't go. Instead, at exactly 7 p.m., the time they usually said grace, they heard a knock at the door. My father opened it, expecting me. Instead, a courier. White envelope. Gold seal. My name in the corner. Inside, the notarized debt transfer agreement. And a letter. Dear Mom and Dad, you once said family doesn't keep receipts. I used to believe that too. But when love becomes debt, and silence becomes currency, someone has to start keeping count. You used my name, my credit, my loyalty, and you spent it all. Now, I'm zeroing the account. The $38,512.91 you owe me? Forgiven, but not forgotten. However, any future expenses related to Darren's loan or Elise's emergencies, those are yours to carry. I'm not your fallback anymore. Consider this my formal resignation from the role of family bank, emotional sponge, and forgotten daughter. This letter isn't revenge. It's release. Take care of each other. I'll be taking care of me. Abigail. I heard later they sat in silence for 10 minutes. Elise cried. My father turned red. My mother said she's lost her mind. But Darren? He said. She finally figured it out. A month passed. I moved apartments, closer to the hospital, smaller but filled with light. New dishes. A real couch. No hand-me-downs. I worked my shifts. Saved quietly. Laughed more. At Christmas, I bought myself a small gift, a flight. Not to Hawaii. To Iceland. A place I'd always dreamed of seeing. I sent no cards. Answered no calls. But a week before the flight, a letter arrived. No return address, but I knew the handwriting. My mom. Dear Abigail, I don't agree with how you've handled things. But I understand now that I made you feel used. I'm sorry. We all leaned on you too hard. Because you made it look easy. You didn't complain. You just carried us. I hope you enjoy your trip. Maybe someday we can talk again. If and when you want. Love, Mom. I didn't cry. But I folded the letter carefully and placed it in a small box by my bed, labeled, Truths I Needed. That night, I packed my suitcase. Warm clothes. Travel journal. A Polaroid camera. As I zipped the bag shut, I thought about something Darren said. They've protected everyone but you. Maybe that was true. But now? Now I protect me. The air in Reykjavik was sharp and clean, like it hadn't been touched by lies. I stood alone on a black sand beach, wind tearing at my jacket, watching the sky flicker green and silver with northern lights. It was silent. No beeping monitors. No family group chats filled with guilt. Just me. My breath. My heartbeat. I took a photo. Not for anyone else. Just for myself. I smiled, small, real quiet. Back home, my phone was still full of messages. Some angry. Some soft. Some pretending nothing happened. I didn't reply. I didn't owe them anything. Not silence. Not explanations. And definitely not forgiveness handed out like a discount. Forgiveness, I was learning, wasn't something you gave to get peace. It was something you gave yourself to move forward. Sometimes I still hear their voices in my head. My mother saying, "You've changed." My sister muttering, "You're selfish now." My dad just shaking his head, quiet disappointment. But I don't argue with them anymore, even in memory. I just reply, "Yes, I have changed." In the small cafe near the water, I journaled as snow fell softly outside. I am not their bank. I am not their cushion. I am not their guilt receptacle. I am Abigail. I am a nurse. I am healing, not just others but myself. That's the thing no one tells you. Boundaries don't make you cruel. They make you real. The trip ended. I returned. No grand reunion. No big ending. Just a woman who finally chose herself and didn't apologize for it. I still send birthday cards to my nieces. Still pray for my family's health. But I no longer show up to a fire just because someone else lit it. I choose when I love, how I give, and what I allow. And that choice, it feels like peace.